I am John Collins. I am the president of Carolina's Virginia Pheasant and Waterfowl Society, director with the Georgia Game Bird Breeders Association, as well as a member with American Pheasant and Waterfowl Society, the World Pheasant Organization, and American Dove Association. All these groups are focused on propagation and conservation of ornamental pheasants and exotic doves, birds that are all heavily threatened or possibly endangered in their native environment. Pheasant housing is a little bit different than most poultry housing. There has to be a top net that not only keeps the pheasants contained, but also protects them from hawks and other predators. They have to have places to hide, places to feel secure within that housing. We try to plant a number of our pens. Some of the pheasants do well with plants, others will destroy anything that gets put in their housing, so we're unsuccessful with planted aviaries there. Keeping pheasants is almost a full-time job. My day starts early in the morning and we make the rounds of all the pens to check on the birds. Every day birds have to have fresh water, fresh food, and we check on enrichment in the pens. We want to make sure there's plenty of enrichment to keep them occupied and give them a sense of shelter and protection. Again, all these birds are endangered and heavily threatened, and some species we have a little more success than others. Every day is a learning opportunity. Birds will teach you something every single day that you interact with them, and a lot of my time out is just observing their characteristics and their behavior and interaction with each other. Some of the species we keep are a little more pugnacious and better at defending their territory, and they keep me on my toes going in to take care of them. They don't want me in their environment, and they do everything they can to run me out. These are Temnick's tragopan. Most of the pheasants are from Indochina. These are Lady Amherst pheasants. They're some of the oldest pheasants kept by aviculture, along with the golden pheasants. This is a cheer pheasant. We're checking eggs in their pen. I first became interested in pheasants as a child. My grandfather raised pheasants for the sporting side of the hobby. My job was to feed and to water and to look after birds that were doing poorly, clean up, carry feed, all the tasks that we relegate to our children to help us with. As I grew, I started getting interested in cage birds, but they just didn't have the same allure and the same attraction for me as the pheasants did. So started keeping ornamental pheasants, and I fell in love with the beauty and the colors and the diversity of the birds. And as I learned more and more about them, I learned about their predicament in the wild. So I began to focus my efforts more on pure bloodstock and birds that were heavily threatened or possibly extinct. Getting ready to collect eggs today. This pen is the Vietnamese pheasant, and it looks like the female has laid an egg. Getting ready to mark the Edwards egg we just collected. It'll be cataloged as to the day it was collected, the pen it came from, and the species. All the pheasants here are unique species that are wild occurring. You can find them in nature, those that are still in existence. I personally focus fairly heavily on the Edwards pheasants here. The Vietnamese pheasant was declared extinct, and there hadn't been a sighting since 2006 in the wild. We incubate the eggs in an incubation room where most eggs sit in the incubator for about 24 days, some up to about 28 days. We had a batch of chicks hatch out last night, and we're getting ready to transfer those chicks from the incubator into our brooder, and they will stay in this brooder for the first week and then transfer to another brooder. We do the transfer because the brooders are set up at different temperatures, and as the birds age and get more feathers, they don't need as much heat. The chicks are fed a special diet to help with their immune system, to help combat different diseases that they might be susceptible to. It also gives us a chance to look at the birds, watch them mature, and look for possible signs of birth defects. We're working diligently to keep good bloodlines so that at some point in the future they can be repatriated back to their native land and maybe once again seen in the wild like they were at one point.